Hi, this is Crystal, and I am off to Shambhala here on YouTube. And there's been something that has been nagging me, I guess. And so I thought today I would stop and make a little video about it. Um, I have been an entrepreneur since, when was it? 2007. I had quit my former vocation. I don't know if I'd want to call it a job, but I got out of that line of business that I was in. I worked in the bar business. And I just really did not want to be in the bar atmosphere. And, it served me well while I was in it. I don't regret it. It was a wonderful experience, really, but especially for my age and my stage in life. But now I'm pushing 44, and I guess I was in my late 30s when I realized I have always wanted to have my own business of some sorts, but I never really knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I tried several things over the years with some success, and I realized that some of to really be super successful in the other things that I was trying, I was going to need to continue to work 60 to 80 hours a week, which I was fine with. But I'm a mother, and when you become a mother, as far as I'm concerned, you give up doing things that are going to take 60 to 80 hours a week to do. So I consciously gave up that effort just so that I could ensure that I had time with my children. So because they're my priority, and they need me, and I want to help them develop. I want to help them. I want to mold them a little bit. I think it's important for parents to do that with their children, and especially after seeing what happened with my oldest son during that time that I was spending many, many hours working on my other business. I think my older son suffered, and he's had some issues, and I will always question how much my lack of attention to him affected him negatively. And I think he's going to be all right, and he's really a great kid, but it's just going to be, I regret, that's one of my big regrets in life, is not paying attention to him as much as I feel like I should have. I mean, and I think we all go through that as parents, maybe, I don't know, but I think that I don't regret quitting my business, but I regret the time with my son. So I think that that's important, is to ask yourself whenever you do anything, like what is going to, if I don't do this, am I really, really going to regret it? Or if I do this, am I really going to regret that? Whatever it is, like, you have to ask yourself that. Now, I don't regret being involved in a business or wanting to continue to be an entrepreneur. I just feel like I finally found something that will work for me as far as being an entrepreneur on a level that will create an income, but I don't have to spend 80 hours a week to keep it going. So, and that is reselling on eBay and Amazon. I wish I'd started that way back then, but at the same time, I learned a lot on many, many levels. So, but I got to tell you, being in the bar business, I had some college education, but it was really just that basic general education, like college algebra and history of the Western civilization and drawing. And I was also in the architectural industry, and I know how to do architectural drafting, but really I didn't really understand anything about business. All I ever knew really was, just some things I picked up from what was going on in the businesses I worked for, but I really did not have any formal education. I really didn't have the big picture. In high school, I took like a business law class. That's about as far as I got. So when I started, I was really, really new, and I accomplished a lot. And even to this day, when I started eBay, with my experience and everything, I still feel like there's like these missing links, and I am now working to fill in those missing link gaps. Um, but it's made me think also, um, that I don't really need, at the same time, like when I didn't have that education, what little education I've gained, I have gained, about business, at the same time, I realize I don't even really need it. Like, it makes me think, do I really need to know all this stuff? While sure it helps, and it's going to help me to be able to communicate better with other people that are in business. There's sort of like a common language that helps when you're communicating with others in business. But really, you really don't need that. And I'm here to tell you that if you want to start a business, if you want to start selling on Amazon and eBay or any entrepreneurial endeavor, there's really only 3 things that you really, really need to know before you get started or as you're getting started. So if you know little to nothing about business in general, but you've got the entrepreneur bug or you're wanting to get started on eBay and Amazon, these are the first 3 things that you need to know. Okay, the first thing should be popping up now. The first thing you need to know is to buy low and sell high. And I bet you already knew that. It does not take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But really, in essence, that's all you need to know. And it's funny because when I worked in the bar, I remember one night I met this guy who he was a stockbroker or something, and I told him I was relatively young. And I said, I want to get into, stocks. Maybe you can give me some pointers on how to get started, or what do I need to know? I can't remember what I asked him. He goes, all you really need to know is to buy low and sell high. And I don't know, that always stuck with me because I expected him to be like, well, it's kind of complicated, or, well, what you need to do is, I don't know what I expected, but I just wasn't expecting him to state the obvious. But when you think about it, that's really what it's about. So, you already know what you need. It's not to be in business. This is the number one thing that you need to know. It's very simple. Okay, and then the second thing that you need to know is that you will figure it out as you go along. And and realize that it's okay to learn as you go. Sure, when I was especially doing my other business, we're talking I was green. I'm sure I sounded like an idiot in front of a lot of people. But you know what? I didn't care. And I just took every stupid thing I said or every mistake I made, and I just learned from it. And I really grew in my ability to make things happen and to put forth a professional image and all of that stuff. Like, I figured it out. And if I needed to know how to do Facebook, I would just go onto Facebook and I would figure it out. So if you're thinking about getting on eBay and Amazon, just go on there, log in, and follow the directions and read. There's really it's not that hard. And then you just take time every day to learn a little bit more. And you will figure it out as you go along. So number 3, again, this kind of goes along with figuring it out. I think I already mentioned it. Learn from mistakes. Mistakes happen, have no fear. Realize that you're going to make mistakes and do not be afraid to make mistakes. This is probably... I have been studying entrepreneurialism since, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. And the one consistent message I keep getting from successful entrepreneurs is that the thing that sets them apart from other people is they're not afraid to make mistakes, and they don't let whatever mistake they make stop them. Sure, I suppose some mistake could happen that might temporarily stop you, for a while. That's what temporarily means. but you can always pick yourself up, and that's kind of where I'm at. And so I just, that's always been a quality that I have sort of instinctively realized. And every time I hear that from other entrepreneurs, it feeds my determination. So just remember that if you make a mistake, it does not mean you're a failure. You just merely learn from them. You don't need to fret over them. You need to say, okay, I'm not going to do that again. And you need to just brush it off and move on and do what you can. And if the mistake turned out to be something that prevents you from going to the next level in a month, then maybe it'll take you 3 months to get to that next level. But either way, you're going to get to that next level, whatever that level is for you, if you just keep going. Okay, so in review, focus on bringing in revenue regularly. That's basically buying low and selling high. So, and that's what you need to do. You need to just stay focused on buying low and selling high, whatever it is that you have. I think another way to look at it too as you go along, if you want to go a little further than just buy low, sell high, and bringing in revenue regularly, is to also think, how do I work as little as possible for the most amount of money? Maybe especially if you're in a service-oriented type business. That might be a way to sort of expand that thought process. And you want to take time to learn, so as you go along, you learn what you need to know for the time that you need to know what you need to know. So you've been selling on eBay and Amazon for 3 or 4 months, and you've sold a bunch of stuff, and now you're like, okay, I got to put this together in some kind of a bookkeeping system now. So then you stop and you figure out how to do bookkeeping, which I have videos on. And then if you don't know anything about bookkeeping, well, you can learn. There is plenty of information available all around the internet. Again, I have videos, and I have other videos about how to learn more about anything related to business. I have another video. In fact, I'll leave a link below to some of those other videos. And cherish the mistakes, and use mistakes to persevere. It's that saying about who is that guy? Thomas Edison is credited with saying something like, every time he failed to make the light bulb work, he cherished that, because he knew one way that it wasn't going to work, so he wouldn't try that again. It would put him in another direction so that he could make the light bulb work. So you just cherish the mistakes, because now you know not to make that mistake again. And I think about that like with stuff that I sell on eBay. I mean, I've put a lot of stuff up that I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is going to sell, but I got it. It's like something that was in my closet. And I put it up, and lo and behold, somebody like bought it right away. I had all these watchers, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so now I know to look for those. But there's also a lot of things that I tried that with that nobody looked at. And now I know when I see them at a thrift store or a garage sale, I'm not even going to bother with those items. So those were valuable mistakes that I made by putting up these items for sale on eBay that nobody was absolutely interested in at all. Now, also, I do want to mention that this particular presentation was inspired by GillDaddy, who said, I don't remember where, if I find it, I'll come back and put the link down below, but his advice to new sellers is to don't worry about what you don't know. Just get on there and start selling and keep listing, and just do it. And don't worry about what you don't know or whether you're set up or not. You just start doing it, and you will make it work if you want to. So yeah, I don't know why this idea has just been festering in my mind, so I thought I'd make a quick video about it, and I hope you found this valuable if you're new to the world of entrepreneurialism or just reselling on eBay and Amazon, because that's what I do. Thanks for watching.